One of the Red Sox top pitching prospects has started to figure something out in a really big way. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Red Seat Radio. My name is Corbin, and normally we space these prospect highlight videos out a little bit, but because the Major League team is giving us absolutely nothing to talk about, they're back in timeout. We're going to focus on the brightest spot of the Red Sox organization right now, which is their prospect pool. And there's one starting pitcher who has been absolutely turning heads lately and taking a really big step forward in his development. So what we are going to do in today's video is we are going to talk to Richard Fitts about what he's been doing over the last couple of weeks, how it's been working out, and what this could mean for his future with the Boston Red Sox. But before we get into that, we're going to be live tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern time on this channel. Obviously, there's going to be a game going on. Maybe we can help salvage this series for the Boston Red Sox, but really, we're going to be focusing on talking about the future of this Red Sox team. That's going to be all tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern time on this channel. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one. Let's get into it. Richard Fitts has been a guy that we've talked about all season long. In fact, he's a guy that Red Sox fans love to talk about. And a big reason for that is because he's an exciting prospect. The Red Sox don't have a ton of higher caliber starting pitching prospects at the AAA level or very close to Major League Baseball at this point. Richard Fitts is one of those guys, so he is getting talked about a ton already. But overall this season, it's been okay. It's been solid. It just hasn't jumped out of the page at you. He currently has a 4.17 ERA on the year, which if we want to compare it to Major League stats, that would be about 0.06 earned runs more than the average pitcher in Major League Baseball, because the current average ERA in the league is 4.11. The FIP for Fitts is a bit higher at 4.84. An educated guess as to why is because he is giving up a pretty solid amount of home runs, but even more so a contributing factor is his walk to strikeout ratio. His walk to strikeout ratio is currently 3, and what this means is he's basically every 3 strikeouts he's getting on the mound, he's also giving up 1 walk. This is the lowest strikeout to walk ratio of his entire career. So there's been more traffic on the base pass for Fitts than we have seen throughout his minor league career at this point, at least overall this season. That has also led to a 1.28 whip, which is, again, one of the higher ones of his career, but it's also not a terrible statistic either. It basically means that for every inning that he pitches, on average, at least one person is reaching first base, which again isn't a problem if you can keep them from scoring, which Richard Fitts has done to a pretty average level. Again, it's a pretty solid season. It's just not totally jump out of the page at you, but that has changed recently because over the last 7-ish starts for Richard Fitts, his statistics have absolutely been jumping off the page. We're dating all the way back to July 27th here, which again is his last 7 starts, because he currently has a 2.54 ERA in those starts with a higher 4.01 FIP, which the largest contributing factor is the fact that he's given up 6 home runs in those 7 games, which is definitely some level of concern. But even bigger than that is the fact that he's been able to keep those home runs to a minimum. He's been able to limit damage in his starts. In fact, 6 of his starts have been 2 earned runs or less, and 4 of them have been quality starts. We're talking about a percentage here of 6 to 7 of his starts being 2 runs or less, and 4 out of the 7 of his starts being quality starts. And on top of that, he's missing a lot more bats. To me, the most impressive part of this last month for Richard Fitts has been the fact that his strikeouts per 9 have jumped up to 9, and his walk rate is much lower than it's been overall this season at just 1.15 per 9 innings, which is a walk percentage of just 3.3%. To me, a huge reason why the Boston Red Sox have sort of let him marinate in AAA and really keep continually focusing on things is because they wanted him to get to this point. They wanted him to get to a point where he is pounding the strike zone, because obviously the more strikes you throw in the zone or outside the zone and getting those swing and misses, the more success that's going to come. And one of the bigger things that I also wanted to point out was that walk to strikeout ratio. We talked about it earlier this video with him being at 3 for this entire season. Well, taking a look at what he's done over these last 7 games, it's now up to a 7.8, which is now almost 8 strikeouts for every walk he's giving up. That is an absolutely massive step forward in Richard Fitts' development. Another big part of his success is the fact that he's just simply not giving up a ton of hits. Again, looking back to the overall overall whip that we mentioned earlier in this video, it's been at 1.28 for this season. This stretch of games, he is down to a 0.91. That is less than one batter reaching via walk or hit per every inning that he pitches. To me, that's a pretty big factor for his success, right? What we're taking a look at is Richard Fitts figuring himself out on the mound and becoming the pitcher that we hoped he would be in AAA. Things are working really well right now for Fitts, but I don't want to sit here and try and break it down for you. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to talk to Fitts himself about why he's been able to see this success that he's been seeing on the mound, and then we're going to talk about what this could mean for the future of this team. So, without further ado, let's get into our interview with Richard Fitts. All right, so you guys know who this is. Been on the channel before, Richard Fitts. And Rich, you've had one hell of an August. What's been going on in August that you've seen the success from?
Yeah, just really been competing out there, going out there and trying to win every ball game, and give our offense the best chance that we got to win. And ultimately, I've been trying all year to get those wins, but this month it's just kind of felt a little bit different. Had a little bit more of that dog in me, a little bit, as you can say. But no, it just felt good. I feel like all my stuff's in a really good spot right now, where I can get it done for whoever I need to.
So is there anything you're working on behind the scenes mechanically that has led to this, or is it more so just a mindset? I'm going to go out there, like you said, have that dog in me. I'm going to do my thing on the mound. It's been working out.
Yeah, honestly, the mindset's just a big part of it. The Olympics came on, and I started watching that like every day, and that was going on. I'm still watching it to this day.
Really?
I recorded like everything that was going on. I still watch it pretty much every day. So like just that mindset of going out competing, watching those athletes compete for their country in front of the whole world is pretty cool.
So what's the sport you're watching?
I was watching everything from swimming to climbing to rowing to literally anything.
The climbing's pretty crazy.
Climbing's really fun.
Climbing's
to watch.
insane.
Yeah.
The ping pong's also wild.
Oh yeah.
So actually, we talked at the beginning of the season when you first got here, and one of your big sort of goals overarching was to start getting more consistency in your quality starts.
Yeah.
This month, it's been 3 out of 5 have been quality starts. Is that still sort of the main goal for the rest of the season, or now that you're getting that consistency, you're starting to move on a little bit to focus on something else?
No, I think that's still a goal. This is a tough league, and if I can go out there and produce a quality start every time, then that's a win. So it's really just kind of putting my best foot forward and allowing our team to win. And right now we've got a really good offense, and if I can go out there and help the team any way I can, then our offense does better, our defense does better. So that's still a goal, and that's quality starts work at every level, and that's kind of what I'm thinking about.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It's a great goal to have. And then I just want to wrap it up because you've done the rapid fire questions already. I don't want to put you through that again. But I do want to ask, and I don't know how much you can answer or not, but have you given any thought, tomorrow as we're recording this is August 31st, tomorrow's the September call-ups. Have you thought about it at all?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't thinking about it, but ultimately it's not my decision. So I'm just trying to put my best foot forward and treat every day like it's the best day ever. I just play baseball professionally, and that's all I can ask for. And I'm having a lot of fun here in Worcester, and I'll have a lot of fun in Boston when that time comes. But right now, I'm being where my feet are.
That's a great response. All right, man. I appreciate it. Thank you. Before we hop back into the video here, I just want to take a second and say if you were enjoying today's video, be sure you guys have hit that subscribe button. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. Just simply helps these videos out a ton. It's the best way you can let me know you're enjoying the content. Thank you all very much for taking a second and doing so. I apologize for the interruption. Let's get back to the video. As always with these interviews, a huge thank you to Richard Fitts for taking a second and talking to us. He's always just such a nice, genuine dude to talk to. It's always fun to listen to him talk about baseball, but one of the biggest things I pulled out of this is simply the fact that a big reason for his success has been that dog mentality. It's been that, hey, I'm better than you. I'm going to throw you my nastiest stuff. Good luck hitting it. And I think that's an absolutely massive mindset for Richard Fitts to get into. A lot of the best pitchers in baseball attribute their success to having a similar mindset, for having a mindset of, hey, my stuff is really good. You are a great hitter. Let's see what happens when I throw my best stuff, because I guarantee you I'm going to be able to get you out. And it works out a whole lot. Now, I'm not saying Richard Fitts is going to be one of the best pitchers in baseball when he gets up here, but I'm saying having that mindset and being able to go onto the mound with that confidence is absolutely a massive step in his development, and him getting that confidence and being able to get to that point on the mound could say a lot of things when it comes to when he's able to make an impact on the big league club. And speaking of that, let's talk a little bit about what this could mean for the Red Sox. I would love to sit here and tell you that this could be an impact in 2024. Fitz himself would love to hear that, right? He talked pretty candidly at the end of this interview about the fact that he would love to hear his name called to Major League Baseball, which I don't think is a surprise to anybody, right? That's the reason these guys are playing these games day in and day out at the AAA level to try and get to the Major League level. But for Fitz, it feels like he's just so close he can taste it, and I completely understand that mentality. But unfortunately, I don't think he's going to be here in 2024. If it were up to me, I would have him up here after the success that we've been seeing for basically a month and a half now, trying to be able to see if he could translate that success to Major League Baseball and start getting his feet wet for 2025. But for the Red Sox, it feels like they're pretty hell-bent on allowing these players to really sort of hammer home everything they need to hammer home before they're brought up to Major League Baseball, right? Seems like the Red Sox are being pretty patient with these guys in AAA, allowing them to really sort of hone in on the things that the Red Sox still believe they need to hone in on before they get the call to major leagues. Because obviously, if it were up to, I think, all of us, we would see a lot of youth on this team right now with how the Red Sox are playing. For the Red Sox, it's a bit of a different story. However, that doesn't mean he's not going to be able to make an impact at all. In fact, coming into 2025, I would be pretty surprised if Richard Fitz's name isn't on that spring training list of guys fighting for either a rotation spot or a roster spot in general, which leads me to a really interesting conversation because, to be honest with you, the Red Sox starting pitching conversation is going to be a fascinating one going into 2025. You've got Lucas Giolito coming back from injury. You've got Brian Bayo, Tanner Houck, and Cutter Crawford not going anywhere, which leaves you really with one open roster spot for your rotation, or at least for right now. And I think most fans, including myself, would love to see that spot filled with a certified, bona fide, top of the rotation type guy who's proven he could perform at a big league level successfully multiple times throughout his career. Someone who is a little bit reliable, someone who you can slot into the number one position on this rotation and feel pretty comfortable about. But what does that mean for guys like Quinn Priester and Richard Fitz, who are currently in AAA with really high ceilings and a lot of potential coming into 2025? It's going to be a bit of a dogfight. I think these guys get the opportunity in spring training to fight for a rotation spot, maybe a back end of the rotation spot, right? Maybe it's against Cutter Crawford. Maybe it's against Tanner Houck or Brian Bayo. I'm not entirely sure, but I do think there is going to be some competition here for the last spot in this rotation, and I do think Richard Fitz is going to be a big part of that. I also think there's a possibility coming into 2025, especially if Richard Fitz can continue his performances like he's been giving in AAA, that there is a bullpen spot available for him as well, which would be really interesting because that would give you some really interesting depth in the Red Sox bullpen. A guy who can spot start if you need him, a long reliever who has, if he could be a 2.54 ERA type guy in the bullpen, that would be absolutely massive for those middle innings that the Red Sox seem to figure out at the major league level right now. So talking about the potential future impact of Richard Fitz is absolutely fascinating to me. The Red Sox are going to need to find room for a lot of these guys that they've brought into this organization coming into 2025, while also ensuring that this rotation is the best rotation it could possibly be. But either way, Richard Fitz continues to do this throughout the rest of 2024, which I believe is only one or two more starts, and starting 2025, he absolutely should get a spot on this major league team. But that's just my opinion. So let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think about this? What do you think about Richard Fitz' step forward? Do you think it's a good thing? What do you think it means for his future impact on this team? Let me know all your thoughts on what Richard Fitz has been doing lately in the comment section down below. As always, if you made it to the end of this video, do me a favor. Make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. Just helps these videos out a ton. It's the best way you can let me know you're enjoying the content. If you want to listen instead of watch these episodes, all you got to do is head over to your favorite podcasting app and look up Red Seat Radio. They're all available over there. Don't forget, we are going to be live tonight on this channel, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one, and I will see you in the Red Seats.